Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. If you are new here, we are a minimalist family who is living big with less, and today I am so excited to share this video with you. It is an extreme pantry declutter and organize. My mum graciously let me redo her pantry because she's been in a really big season of change, and if you have a pantry that is really big or really overwhelming, you are really going to enjoy this video, so stick around. I am so glad that my mum was so gracious to let me film me making over her pantry. To give you a little bit of context, we have a lot of children in our family, and my younger brothers and sisters have started the process of moving out of home, but we've also had some return back to her place and then leave again, and so there's just been a lot of coming and going. And because they're all adult children now, they were kind of buying their own food. And so my mum's cupboard was full, and it was really full of food that she didn't use. So my mum and my dad have recently started a keto diet, and so they wanted to get rid of anything that they no longer eat, put a separate section for my adult sisters who are still at home so that they can put their food separately. But the biggest thing was to get rid of food that A, had expired or was left open or was no good or no one was going to eat it. And I know that this is a really common problem. I get lots of comments from you guys telling me about your pantry and how that you find it hard to throw food away, and I completely get it. That's your hard-earned money there that you've spent money on. However, it being there does not make it so people are going to eat it. So I think you should feel absolutely no guilt, and as we go through the process, I'll show you what I did so that we had the least amount of wasted food, that we had some systems in place so that we could, use up good food or give it away. And the sooner you realize, hey, this food is not for us, or whoever bought it is no longer here, the sooner you can clear out those pantries and see what you actually have and what you can use. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. I will say at the end, the pantry does look very bare, but do not be afraid of blank space. You don't have to fill it. By all means, if you're not going to eat that food, please don't fill it. But don't be afraid of letting things go, because ultimately having that pack of 5-year-old lentils sitting in the back of your cupboard because it makes the pantry seem full is actually not something you're going to use or eat. Then let it go. Honestly, there should be no shame in blank space, no shame in letting somebody else who will use that food have access to it. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. Okay guys, so this is the before of my mum's pantry. As you can see, there's just a lot of stuff that has been randomly chucked in there, and there's not a lot of order. So the first thing that we are doing is just pulling all the items out of the pantry and onto the dining room table. Now this is what I call my hybrid KonMari method. So I love the idea of getting all the items out so you can see exactly what you have, so you can make decisions on what you want to keep. But while we're doing that, we're making some what I call maybe decisions. So we're just putting them loosely where we think we're going to go. So I've got 3 piles, 1 pile for stuff that she knows she wants to keep, that someone is using and eating, 1 pile for things that are no good, either out of date or gone stale or no good, and those will go straight into the bin. And then 1 pile of things that she no longer wants in the pantry but are still good, that we can either use up within our family or pass on to someone else who can use it. And by doing this, we're making the decisions really quickly as we're pulling the items out, so it's less overwhelming. And when we get to the end and we've pulled everything out, we've got some sort of order, and we've really utilized the time and that snap decision making, which I find makes making those decisions so much easier. So guys, while we're doing this, we're checking expiry dates of anything. Now, of course, that's just a guide, and if something was close to its use by date but you're still using it, absolutely keep it. But if you're not using that item and it's come up past its expiry date, that is a great tool to use. We're also going through some of the baking items that my mum had in the top of her cupboard. These are lesser used items, so she's just making some decisions based on her new diet of what she's going to be using and what she thinks she'll need going forward. And she was able to let a lot of stuff go, which freed up a lot of room in her pantry to spread out the food and make everything a lot more streamlined. As you can see, I'm just holding up the items and prompting her, like, is there something you're using? How often will one item do instead of two? So what I'm doing now is just getting rid of any of the items that were just no good for eating. We also recycled as much as we possibly could, but there was of course some things that were just beyond the point, and we just got rid of those straight away. One of my tips when you're doing something like this is to make sure that you're dealing with those piles of either stuff that's going to be sent on to somewhere else or needs to go in the bin really quickly. I also set this drawer up in my mum's kitchen for her spices, things for tea and coffee and desserts. It was a really great way to utilize this space. My mum is quite short like me, so having a drawer down low where she can get to these spices really quickly and easily is going to be a much better method for her. Now I'm just moving on to cleaning out the empty cupboard. This is the perfect time to do it because everything's out and you can really get in there. I just gave it a really good vacuum. As you know, all those things that just accumulate in your pantry, all those crumbs. So I vacuumed them all out, and then I'm giving everything a really good wipe over so that when we put the items back in, everything is fresh and clean. So what I'm doing now is I'm starting to put those items back in the cupboard, and I am really thinking mostly about the functionality of the pantry. So those items that are most used are in those prime positions where everything is going. So that's things like condiments, oils that mum is grabbing every day, and obviously thinking about what other people in the home are using, where's going to be the best place for them. The things that are lesser used go higher or lower than eye level. In my mum and dad's situation, they have adult kids who eat differently to them. So what we've done is we've made their shelves lower in the cupboard so that those aren't the things that they see every day, but the other people who live there still have space for them. And as well as not putting too many items behind each other. So the only things I like to put behind each other are like items. That way when you're looking in the cupboard, it's really easy to find what you're looking for and you don't forget items that have gone to the back. I also like to group like items. So on this shelf, sort of just below eye level, is where I put the snack items that they need to access more regularly, and they're all together. So if they're packing their lunch for work or looking for a snack, they know exactly where to go. This is my gorgeous little brother, and he's helping me take all the rubbish out. And it's completely done now, and I am so happy with how it turned out. As you can see, we streamlined the stuff at the top. Then we've got all that baking goods out of sight which aren't used as often, condiments right where they need to be front and center, moving down to snacks and then my sister's food. This will just make a really clear area for everyone to know what goes where. There's also plenty of clear space that as they buy new items and fill it up, that they'll know where those things go. And then those, other items like filtered water and cans of drink, they're safely stowed down the bottom. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you're new here, we would absolutely love to have you subscribe and join our community. Here are some other videos we think you might like. And if you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. It just lets me know that you'd like more videos like that. And I will catch you guys in the next one.